Some Facebook ads are failing for a reason nobody's talking about. It has nothing to do with your creative, nothing to do with your pages, and nothing to do with Andromeda. It's because you're violating a fundamental law of human psychology that has been hardwired into our brains for 2 million years. I spend millions a month on Facebook ads, and I talk a lot about the tactics. But the tactics don't always answer a crucial question. Why do some businesses burn through cash, never get Facebook ads to work, no matter how hard they work on their creative, their pages, and their campaign structures? So here's exactly how we're going to build this up, because understanding the sequence of this video is crucial. We're going to start at the deepest level, and we're going to work our way up to the surface. From unconscious forces that drive human behavior and why we buy, to the actual application layer on Meta. So think of it like an iceberg, and we're starting at the deepest foundation. So here's the brutal truth. Good ads amplify, but they cannot fix a broken offer. Magnesium supplements, for example, are super hard to sell with Meta ads. But a sleep supplement that contains magnesium can do great. Same ingredient, completely different results. But here's where it gets interesting. Your customer's brain doesn't care about product features. It cares about survival. And I mean that literally. Every single purchase decision gets filtered through 8 fundamental survival programs that have evolved over 2 million years. If you miss these, you're basically fighting against evolution itself. Driver 1, self-protection. Our brains are constantly looking for threats. This ancient program kept our ancestors alive. Now it drives people to buy security systems or insurance or anything that prevents loss. It's also the reason why, for example, tags like limited stock or limited discount work. Our brains interpret scarcity as danger. Driver 2, disease avoidance. We are hardwired to avoid contamination. This is also why health and wellness offers can do so well on Meta. Driver 3, affiliation. Humans survived in tribes. Being cast out basically meant death. Today, this drives purchase behavior. Because Stanley Cups, they aren't about hydration, they're about belonging. When someone buys that $45 tumbler, they're buying a tribal membership. Driver 4, status. Higher rank meant better resources and better mates. Now it fuels a $300 billion luxury industry. But here's where it gets crazy. Because status doesn't necessarily mean Rolex watches. A Whoop, like this one, can be a status symbol when it's positioned that high performance use them. Driver 5, mate acquisition and retention, which is kind of like marketing technology to evolution theory. But every beauty product, every fitness program, even many personal development courses, they're all selling the same thing: mating market value. Because improving yourself in different ways can mean a higher societal status. Driver 6, kin care. Parents will buy anything for their kids to get ahead in life. And it's not because they are good parents, but it is because protecting offspring means genetic survival. And this is why one of our clients, Big Life Journal, does so well. They help kids grow up confident, resilient, and ready to take over the world. That sounds like a pretty good deal if you want to have genetic survival. Driver 7, resource acquisition. Gathering resources meant survival. Today this translates in anything that promises more money or time. And to be honest, this is why making money online offers will never die. And this is why the Lambo videos do actually work. They tap directly into evolutionary programming. Driver 8, exploration and mastery. Learning meant adapting to new environments. And now it drives a $50 billion online education industry. But here's the trick. You cannot just sell information. You have to sell transformation, capability, power. So now you understand the 8 evolutionary drivers. But here's the thing. Your customers aren't consciously experiencing this as survival programs. They experience them as emotions and psychological needs. So let me show you how evolution becomes emotion. So these drives, they don't announce themselves. Your customer doesn't think, I need this for evolutionary fitness. Instead, these drives manifest themselves as 7 core psychological needs. First, safety and certainty. That self-protection drives becomes anxiety about the future. So products that promise predictability, they sell. Belonging and connection. Affiliation becomes loneliness. Products that promise community, sell. Esteem and status. The status drive becomes feeling less than. Products that elevate, sell. Competency and mastery. Exploration becomes feeling stuck. Products that unlock capability, sell. Autonomy and control. Self-protection becomes feeling powerless. Products that give control, sell. Pleasure and comfort. Our reward systems want immediate gratification. Quick wins outsell long-term gains every time. Meaning and self-actualization. Unique to humans, we need to matter. Products aligned with values and identity sell as well. So we have these evolutionary drives that become psychological needs. But there's one more critical filter that will determine if someone will actually buy, which is identity. This is where psychology becomes purchases. So people don't buy products, they buy identity reinforcement. So let me prove it to you. So why does someone spend $200 on a Lululemon leggings when they could have gone to Target for $25? Obviously, it's not about the leggings. It's about about someone who wears Lululemon. The purchase confirms their identity story. I am someone who invests in quality. I am health conscious. I am successful enough to afford this. This is called identity-based consumption, and it's the invisible force behind every purchase. There are 3 identity layers that drive buying. First, personal identity. I am disciplined. I am a good parent. I am successful. Second is the social identity. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a fitness enthusiast. I'm a creative. And third, the aspirational identity. I want to be seen as wealthy. I want to become healthier, and I want to be respected. When your product aligns with their identity story, the purchase feels inevitable. But when it conflicts, no amount of benefits will convince them. So here's a simple example. Let's say we're trying to sell a meditation app. Marketing hook A could say, hey, reduce stress in 10 minutes. Marketing hook B could be, join 50,000 high performers that meditate daily. Same app, same benefits, but hook B goes much deeper. Why? Because it wasn't selling meditation, it was selling identity. I am the type of person who does what high performers do. So now we understand the complete psychological stack: evolution, emotion, and identity. But Meta isn't like any other platform. The way people scroll through Facebook and Instagram creates a unique challenge. So let me show you why traditional marketing fails on these platforms. People are obviously not shopping on Facebook and Instagram. They're basically doom scrolling, they're reading the news, they're watching pictures of friends. This also means that your customer's brain makes a purchase decision in 400 milliseconds. It's even before conscious thought ever begins. So the brain runs a calculation instantly. Need fulfillment plus emotional reward plus identity alignment versus perceived risk, cost, and effort. If the left side clearly outweighs the right side, in under half a second, they scroll past. And here's what most advertisers miss. They think rationally. They list features. They list benefits. They use logic because that's how they think about their business. Meanwhile, your customer's system 1 brain, the fast emotional and pattern matching system, has already decided. The rational mind just backwards rationalizes the decision. So now you understand both sides, the deep psychology of buying and the unique reality of Meta. So it's time to put it all together. Here's a 7-layer framework that synthesizes everything into a practical system. Layer 1, deep human drivers. Does your product connect to those 8 evolutionary drivers that we discussed before? Because without this, nothing else matters. Layer 2, problem intensity. Meta adds too well with problems that are felt daily, emotionally charged, identity threatening, and just visually uncomfortable. Mild problems die in defeat. Intense emotional problems, they stop the scroll. Let me give you an example of one of our clients, SweetFlex. They sell leggings with built-in resistant bands. And before they started working with us, they were struggling because they tried selling these leggings to women who were already working out. They were already going to the gym. They were already pretty fit. So the problem with this is that an improved workout is not emotionally charged enough. So we help them reposition their brand. We decided to sell to busy moms who want to be fit, who want to feel attractive, who want to be healthy, but they struggle with having time going to the gym. And now they're best ads. They focus on burning calories during the day while doing other stuff. Layer 3, market competitiveness. Some categories are just super competitive. Supplements, skincare, weight loss, self-improvement. You can still win in these categories, but you need a unique mechanism. Which brings me to layer 4, product uniqueness and mechanism clarity. Your product needs a clear answer to the question, what makes you different? And this unique mechanism must be specific, believable, different from competition, and understandable in ideally 3 seconds. Because without a unique mechanism, you're basically selling a commodity in competitive markets. And commodities don't really scale on Meta. Layer 5, the awareness level. And this is where 90% of advertisers get stuck. Here are a few awareness levels laid out by Eugene Schwartz in his book Breakthrough Advertising, which is highly recommended, by the way. You want to understand what awareness levels most of your market is in, and then you want to match it with a specific message. So if people are unaware, they don't even realize they have a problem. So for example, they're tired, but they think they're stressed. But you would actually need to educate them that there's something else underneath. Problem aware. This is where people know that they have an issue. For example, I can't sleep. Your message positioning should be about amplifying the pain and promising a specific relief. Next is solution aware. This is where people are actively comparing solutions. For example, I've tried meditation and melatonin, and your message should be about your unique mechanism, your unique way of solving their problem. Product aware. These are people that are aware of the existence of your product, but haven't bought yet. So for example, they visited your site yesterday and they need social proof. They need guarantees to basically give them the last push to buy. And most Meta cold traffic is either problem aware or solution aware. But if your messaging is suited for problem aware, but most of your audience is in the solution aware bucket, your ads won't resonate. It's basically like speaking English to someone who only speaks Dutch. They won't understand, they won't hear it. Let's move on to layer 6. communication strength. Strong creative translates psychological power into a few things. Visual transformation, for example, the well-known before and afters, or emotional resonance, or identity reinforcement, people like you, or social proof, like other people succeeding, or pattern interruption, an unexpected visual. So creative amplifies psychological force. It cannot create it. Layer 7. Offer and friction. Even perfect products fail if buy-in feels hard. Super long shipping times, weak guarantees, confusing bundles, or hidden costs that are added at checkout. Every point of friction can reduce your conversion rate with, let's say, like 20 to 30%-ish. So that's the framework. Let's now look at an example. So let's talk again why generic magnesium fails. So there's a weak evolutionary motive because it's a vague health benefit. There's low emotional intensity because it's an invisible problem. There's extreme competition, so therefore it's a commodity. There's no unique mechanism because it's just magnesium. There's wrong awareness assumption because people don't know that they're deficient. It's hard to visualize because there's no transformation. There's slow rewards because it takes weeks. So why do sleep supplements work according to this framework? There's a strong evolutionary motive for survival, status, and mating. There's high emotional intensity felt every night. There's a clear mechanism possible. For example, like fall asleep in 12 minutes. There's the right awareness level because everyone knows bad sleep sucks. It's highly visual. Exhausted versus energized. There's a fast reward because you take it now and it works tonight. So now you've seen why certain products succeed and why others fail. Now here's the formula that basically distills it to the essence. So a product scales when evolutionary connection is strong. So survival, status, belonging, and mating. Emotional problem is intense. It's frequent, painful, and identity threatening. The category angle is fresh. It's a new perspective. The mechanism is clear. There's a specific reason why this works. The message matches the awareness level, so it's meeting them where they are. The communication is powerful. It's visual, emotional, and identity aligned. The experience is frictionless. It's easy, fast, and guaranteed. So when all 7 aligns, Meta feels like a money printer. And when one is broken, costs rise. When you have 2 or more broken, it becomes very hard to succeed with Meta ads. So now you have the formula. Here's how you can apply this today. Step 1. Audit your evolutionary connection. Which of the 8 drivers does your product serve? If it's not crystal clear, you might have a positioning problem. Step 2. Intensify the emotion. Find the daily pain point. Find the identity threat or the discomfort and then amplify it. Step 3. A clear mechanism. What's your specific reason why this works and others don't? Make it memorable and easy to understand. Step 4. Match awareness level. Stop assuming people know their problems. Start with education, build desire, and then sell. Step 5. Reduce every friction. Free shipping, for example, or a strong guarantee. One-click checkout. Make buying easier than scrolling past. Look, here's what nobody tells you about Facebook ads. Success isn't random. It's structural. It's psychological. And now, it's predictable. The products that scale, they don't fight human nature. They flow with it. They tap into drives that kept our ancestors alive. They satisfy needs that we cannot ignore. And they reinforce stories that we tell ourselves. So once you see this deeper game, Meta transforms into a predictable system. You can stop guessing why campaigns fail. You see the invisible architecture that determines success. Now the question isn't whether your products can scale on Meta. The question is which psychological layer needs strengthening to unlock that scale. Answer that question and you'll never struggle with Facebook ads again. Because advertising doesn't create desire. It reveals and amplifies the psychological forces that are already moving through your customer. Build products that align with these forces. And Meta not just becomes manageable, it becomes predictable and powerful. And that's how you turn Facebook ads into a sales generating machine. I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one.